Hello guys. So for today we're just going to do an exercise that's going to help you with seeing different values, because one of the things that you really want to get good at when you're drawing that can help make things look a lot more realistic and more three-dimensional is shading and understanding different values. So the first thing we're going to do is simply make a little value scale, and we've made these before. So all I really want you to do is make a value scale with 3 values, just 3. So if you can draw just like a little band-aid. And I just want you to put 3 values in here, okay? So the first square is going to be a super light value, and you can see I tilted my pencil a little bit on the side, and a super, super, super light value, okay? Then I'm going to skip over the middle one for a minute and make the one on the right. I don't want to break my pencil, but if I hold my pencil a little more upright, I can make it darker. So I want to make this side really, really dark. This will be my darkest value. Like that. And then I need to find one somewhere in between. So one thing I can do is color it in like the first one, and then simply add another layer, a little darker, but not as dark as the one on the right. And that can give me a medium value. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you can see I've got basically 3 values here. So what we're going to be doing is creating, or doing a little exercise using a triangle. And I actually made a template so I can trace it. You don't have to use a template. You could also just use a ruler, but it's probably easiest to just draw a triangle and then cut it out, and then that way you can just trace it a few times. So what you're going to do is you're going to trace your triangle and try to do it slowly so that your lines are straight, because you really don't want to have squiggly lines by mistake. So there's one, and then, so what I'm doing here is I want my triangles to overlap. I want some areas where my triangles overlap just each other once. Like right now, you can see that they're overlapping each other. That's just this section here in the middle, right? These other areas are just one part of each triangle by themselves. There's no overlap, okay? So that's 2 triangles. And then I'm going to do one more triangle. And when I do this third one, I want to make sure that there's a section where all 3 of the triangles are overlapping. So how can I put this? Maybe if I do it sort of like here, then I know that this center section, all 3 of them will overlap. So I'm going to go really slow again. And when you do this, it doesn't even have to be triangles. It could also be a different shape. Okay, so I'm going to put some little numbers in here just to help myself remember how many times the section has been overlapped. So here, I'm going to put a number 1 in here because it's just one triangle. There's no overlapping there. Over here would be a number 1, a number 1, a number 1, a number 1, a number 1. Then, let's see, this section here, I think just 2 have overlapped in that little section. Let's see, over here, this section, that is also 2 of them overlapping, right? This big one here and this one here have overlapped. This little section in here, that tiny one, is this triangle and this triangle overlapping. And then this section in the middle, that's where all 3 of them are overlapping. So I'm going to put a 3 there. Okay, then I'm also going to number my value scale, 1, 2, and 3. And I bet you've now guessed that I'm going to be shading in according to number. So wherever I see a number 1, that's where I'm going to shade it in really lightly with that lightest value. Wherever I see a number 2, that's where I'm going to shade it in with my medium value. And then just the center part is number 3, and that's where I'm going to shade it in really dark. Now yours might look a little, well, will look a little different than mine depending on how you overlap your triangles. So take your time with your shading. Try to make sure you get the right number in the right place. Okay, and that's it. That's just going to help you start seeing some different values.